Hello and welcome to The Red Menace. We're a comedy news podcast bringing you the latest and greatest stories from Australia and maybe Indonesia. We'll see how we go. And New Zealand.
I've got to get a story from this country at some point.
I feel like you've been there for a bit and it seems silly for you to live there and for us to not include that in some capacity.
Yeah. At some point when I find a fun story, I'll include it.
My name is Christopher Bolson.
And I'm Alison Hoare.
We're recording... Thanks to this wonderful thing called time zones, we're recording this in at different times of day. And for Alison, it's about 7:30 p.m. for you, isn't it?
Yeah, it's about 7:30.
Yeah, it's later than that for me. And I gotta say, it's kicking in.
Now,
so I hope you're all excited
hot is it
for
there?
Quality. What hot is it?
Yeah, what hot is it?
Hotornot.com of Sydney is not very hot, like 20, like 19 to 20 degrees.
Yeah, hotornot.com
is
for Indonesia is hot. Yeah.
That's pretty cool, because you want to be hot on hotornot.com.
Yeah, hotornot.com.
Sydney is fugly on hotornot.com.
Is hotornot.com a real website?
It must be. That domain name's definitely been turned into a gross website, 100%.
Let's have a look. Hotornot.com. Hot.
I'm sorry in advance if this is porn.
Not.com, please not. Otherwise I'm... Well, my connection is not private. Attackers might be trying to steal your information. Hotornot.com, for example.
I mean, that wouldn't surprise me. It would be hilarious if the government had blocked that website as well.
Well, I can't access hotornot.com, so
It's inciting
my
riots.
computer firewall is not allowing me to access hotornot.com, so
I think
take that as you will.
That's probably for the best.
Yeah, I don't think I want to access that now.
You know what website your computer will allow you to access is daddysnews.com, which is a much better
daddysnews.com, www.daddysnews.com.
Could have got the .au, but I'm not a chump. I got the full-on.com.
Yeah, get the full effect, the full international Daddy's News.
We don't really have anything to talk about in the intro, which is why we've been waffling for a couple of minutes. Do you have a story to start us off?
Let's have a look at what I've got today. Oh, hello. Where did my window go? Oh, here it is.
To hell.
Well, I've got a few fun stories.
That's always good.
Shall we go straight to the motherland of the Queen of England?
Oh, yeah, I want to hear about what that lovely old lady's got going
What
on.
Lizzie's up to. Have you ever stopped to think about, occasionally, what's Lizzie up to at the moment?
I'm like, what's my old Aunt Liz doing at the moment?
Yeah. I mean, because,
I assume
Australia is still technically part of Liz's kingdom.
We're like England's grumpy nephew.
Yeah, we're like England's like rejected nephew, I would say.
Yeah, we're the red-headed nephew.
The one sent away to juvie for doing a bad thing and never quite recovering from that.
Australia, the world's boarding school.
I found myself thinking this morning, what's Lizzie up to? But I didn't need to think for too long because news.com.au has brought the news of what is Lizzie doing today. And what is Lizzie doing today? It says, Queen Elizabeth II, baffled by self-serve checkout at Sainsbury's. By news.com.au.
She is quite elderly. I mean, also, I like that we're calling her Queen Elizabeth II. As in
just in case you're worried, you might think it's the
first sequel to the first Queen Elizabeth movie that was a smash hit.
Box office smash hit success, Queen Elizabeth I.
Burnt a lot of Protestants, but ultimately was successful.
Still a box office smash hit, yeah.
Still very successful. Queen Elizabeth II, not as many Protestants die, and that's very exciting.
But I do like that they say Queen Elizabeth II, so that we know it's not talking about, the 1500s or whenever Queen Elizabeth was around. Oh, wait, no,
she burnt the Catholics. It was Mary that burnt the Protestants. Sorry, I'm getting my English medieval history mixed up.
Well, today, Queen Elizabeth has visited Sainsbury's.
Okay,
I don't know a lot about Sainsbury's. I've never been to the UK. I've never been to the motherland.
That's just like, it's like Woolworths, but English, right? It's
yeah,
like
I'm going to call it like Woolworths, because then I feel more at home telling this story. I feel like I can't relate to this story with it being called Sainsbury's.
I used to live in Marrickville, and in Marrickville, my local supermarket was called Banana Joe's Foodworks. So can we please refer to this place as Banana Joe's Foodworks?
Banana Joe's. I've been past Banana Joe's a bunch of times, and I get that.
They have some excellent produce, but everything's a little bit too expensive. Counter point though, it's called Banana fucking Joe's, so I went there every chance I got.
Of course you did. Of course you did. This a little bit. The name to me sounds like it could be interpreted in a bit of a lewd way if you wanted to.
You know, that literally never occurred to me, a huge pervert, the entire time that I lived there. That's incredible that I'd never thought of that.
Yeah, well, I'm glad I could help you out with that one.
Joe, you nasty.
Anyway, this is in the celebrity life section of news.com.au.
Okay.
Oh, now hang on.
Give me that
autoplay video just came. So let me give you the
no. I don't
the great
see,
content.
I don't need to see Liz on video.
I don't need to see Liz at Sainsbury's. There's lots of photos of Liz at Sainsbury's.
She's so old she can't move at faster than 1 frame per second anyway, so there's no point.
The photos are basically a video. It's actually a series of embedded videos. She's just going so slowly. Anyway, the Queen has been shown a self-serve checkout at a supermarket for the first time, and it left her with more questions than answers.
What on earthly fuck is this?
Oh, I'm going to do like a posh voice for this acts the Queen's voice.
I'd like an avocado. Where's one of your peons so that I may pay for it?
Servant!
Servant, come here. I need this guacamole.
Queen Elizabeth joked, "You can't cheat then," as she was showing the self-service tills while visiting Sainsbury's to mark the supermarket's 150th anniversary today.
Wait, what did she say? You can't cheat.
You can't cheat them.
The Queen's first thought upon learning, the Queen of England's first thought on learning about this system was how to exploit it.
Her first thought amazing. Was, can I put apples through as brown onions?
Can I steal
Can I put avocados through as brown onions? And can I put everything through as brown onions on the self-serve checkout? Is it weird
that makes me respect Lizzie a lot more?
Yeah.
She immediately tried to steal. She tried to steal from Banana Joe's so quickly.
Her first thought was, yeah, how can I cheat this self-serve? And, that's relatable. I have a lot more respect for her. The 93-year-old monarch inspected the technology this morning as she toured the replica store, saying they were sure to help people who were in a hurry.
Do you think that she goes up to the checkout, the self-serve checkout, and starts talking to it as though it's a person and asking it to do stuff? Be like, you, robot, can you please put through these watermelons? I need them very badly. Are you Banana Joe?
Hello, Banana. Mr. Joe, is that you?
Mr. Banana Joe, I can't see your face. Are you hiding inside that hideous box?
And his staff member's standing behind her, being like, "I'm behind you."
That's the scary part, is Banana Joe's always behind you whenever you go inside Banana Joe's.
Do they wear banana suits in Banana Joe's?
I'm not going to lie, I don't remember, but I don't think so.
Well, that's really disappointing.
I know, it's bullshit.
My plan in life, if I ever become rich, is to buy Banana Joe's, and the one thing I'll change is make everyone wear banana suits to work. And that's how I'll exploit the workers.
Are we talking big bananas in pajamas, full on, massive styrofoam things?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm into that.
Yeah.
I want the workers to struggle to fit through doorways.
I want the workers to not be able to do their job properly, and then I can,
But you will pay them very well. Like, they'll get, like, lawyer money to just
Oh, they will get lawyer money, but they have to stack the shelves in the banana costume.
Stack the shelves in the banana costume.
So they will learn how to stack the shelves in the banana costume.
The shop is not solvent, and it will never be solvent.
Let's have a look then. This is speaking to the manager, Damien Corcoran. She appeared Cochrane. Yeah, Cochrane. She appeared to be particularly interested in the self-service checkout facility, wondering if it was possible to get away without paying.
Fuck's sake, Liz, you have so much money.
And you can't trick it. You can't cheat it then. Mr. Cochrane replied, well, you can always cheat, but with the weighing scales we've got that should prevent certain items from being undetected.
She doesn't even need to steal it. She owns all of it anyway. She's the fucking queen. She owns me, I'm pretty sure. She could just take me. She wouldn't even need to illegally sneak me through the checkout. She could come and take my property whenever she wants, and there's nothing I could do about it because she's the queen.
Now, I'm not going to lie, the rest of this article is very much a Sainsbury's ad with the Queen talking about how much she enjoys Sainsbury cream pies and other such great things, and what an honour it was to have Queen Elizabeth in their store. But there are a lot of really good photos at Lizzie marvelling over the wonder of the self-serve checkout technology. They've got like this whole thing set up to make like a vintage shop experience, and Lizzie, being Lizzie, just totters on over to the self-serve checkout and it's like, what's this marvel of technology?
Well, I don't think she has any technology in the palace. Like, I think that instead of having a vacuum cleaner, she has like a servant with a dustpan and brush that has to go around. Well, that's true. Like, if you put a Roomba in that... They don't even have a
dustpan and brush. They've just got to, like...
They have to lick it.
Scoop it up with their hands.
To lick up all of the dirt. If you put a Roomba in Buckingham Palace, she would have a heart attack and die on the spot.
Yeah. Yeah. Which, would not be ideal.
Unless the Roomba exclusively... It was a DJ Roomba, had an iPod on top of it, and it played the English national anthem and nothing else. Then she'd like that. She'd appreciate that. Exactly.
She'd be like, yeah, indeed, God save me, would be what she says as she's singing along. Do you reckon when she sings the national anthem right, she doesn't say God save the Queen, because the Queen's her.
God save me. I don't know
how does the song go?
Absolutely no idea.
I was going to start, and then I realised I don't know how it goes, and I hoped that you did, so I could join in. But looks like we're both
I barely remember
the bad nephew.
I barely remember our national anthem. Inexplicably, I can recite the entire American one to you in like perfect tune, which is so viscerally upsetting to me.
What's the American one?
Oh, I can't do it off the top of my head, but I find myself humming it all the time. I'll be like doing my vacuuming and I'll just suddenly start like humming the word vacuuming in the tune of the American national anthem.
I feel like that's got to be some kind of like alien technology.
Yeah, I think I've been...
Some kind of Illuminati stuff is happening there. You've got like a chip embedded in your brain.
I've been Manchurian candidated and I can't get away from it ever.
There's nothing you're going to be able to do to get yourself safe from that again.
Let me see if I've got a story that does not make it seem like we're all going to die. I want to do something a bit more low-key. So this is...
I like low-key.
Also from news.com.au.
Wonderful.
The headline is, Mystery Wedding Cake Baffles Internet.
Ooh. Intriguing.
A mother was taking her dog for a walk with her 2 kids when she stumbled upon a 5-tier... Firstly, I love that the dog comes before the kids in that sentence.
Yeah, of course it does. I have a mum that would definitely put her 2 dogs and her cat before any of us.
She stumbled across a 5-tier wedding cake on Saturday afternoon in Bolwyn, 10 kilometres east of the CBD. Doesn't specify which CBD. I guess I'm just supposed to know.
Yeah, I guess you're... Which city is this? No idea?
It's Melbourne. Just figured it out. It's Melbourne.
Okay,
Says a couple paragraphs later. It's great writing.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. It just assumes everyone knows, like, the suburbs of Melbourne.
Intrigued by how the elaborate and detailed cake ended up abandoned on the side of a road, the woman decided to post a photo of it to the Facebook group 50 Shades of Cake, asking members if they knew what had happened. So I'm gonna
Why is she in the Facebook group?
Is it about, like, sex cakes, or is it just, like, a funny name?
I really don't want to know.
No, that's fair. I don't either, to be honest.
I think it's probably just a funny meme page.
I think so. So the image is basically... It's just like a classic white 5-tiered wedding cake, but the top 3 tiers have kind of keeled over, like the Leaning Tower of Pisa, and it's just, like, sort of sticking out at a weird angle, and it's covered in, like, those little flowery things and lace and all this fancy looking stuff. But it looks like someone's given it a real big kick, and it's sort of half fallen over.
If you saw a wedding cake on the side of the road, would you kick it? This is like you know that show, like, What Would You Do? That, like, they set up these scenarios.
I don't think I would I think I would, like, set myself up across the other side of the road and just watch, because there's got to be a story there.
Yeah, that's true.
And look, if I don't kick it, I get to film someone else kicking it and then put that footage on Twitter. And then
good. Feel morally superior.
Exactly. Then I get to talk about, like, how this real piece of shit kicked a wedding cake that he found on the side of the road. How would someone do such a thing?
So here's what I'm going to do, right? I'm going to set up a wedding cake on the side of the road and then film it and, like, entrap people.
Okay. Is it a crime to damage a wedding cake that's just on the side? Like, it's definitely rude.
It's definitely not, like, a nice thing to do.
But at the same time, if you leave your wedding cake on the side of the road, whatever happens is on you.
Well, yeah. I think at that stage, you know, the onus of responsibility falls on the party who abandoned the wedding cake on the side of the road.
So I'm just going to read out her, like, post and her questions. She says, I would love to know why a wedding cake was left on the side of the road, which we found on our dog walk today. Bad cake maker? Flavour not up to scratch? Wedding was a disaster? She asked. The mystified woman wondered if it was a display cake, and if so, why it couldn't just go in the bin. After closely examining it, she discovered that the lower cakes were display cakes, topped with a few real chocolate sponges. The entire thing had been freshly iced with white fondant and embellished with nude roses and sugar flowers.
So did she taste the cake that was sitting on the side of the road? Or did she just examine? Did she inspect it?
It looks like she's slightly deconstructed the top of it to see what kind of cake it is.
She's just assuming it's chocolate then. It could be like...
No, like she's taken... That's true, it could be mud.
It could be like anything. Anything
and I don't mean
brown.
mud cake, I mean literal mud cake.
Yeah, actual mud.
Yeah. But there's a photo of her fingers that's got, like, some cake mess on it, because she's obviously, like, stuck her hand in to, like, rip this bad boy apart.
I'm not sure I'd want to stick my hand directly into a road cake.
No, exactly. That really seems like asking for trouble. As she then says, there was no council hard rubbish sticker anywhere to be seen. Hope to find out and let you know. I think that would be wild if you did abandon a cake on the side of the highway, but you had decided to organise a council, like, collection.
Like, called council collection. It's like, hi, I was supposed to get married today, but my fiancé didn't show up, and so now the wedding's off. I've just left the cake out on the side of the road. If you could swing by and collect it. What's the correct protocol for this? What's the right stickering I need to get?
What I think I would do is I would call into whatever the local radio station is and just be like, hey, does anyone want a big wedding cake? My wedding was a huge disaster. It's on street X, whatever, at this address. First in, best dressed, basically, for this wedding cake. And then it would
become like a whole thing and you would become famous.
Exactly. You'd be this
But you'd have to, like,
scavenger.
spruik your Twitter handle there. It's like,
yes.
Free cake at AlisonM_H.
You should just start abandoning wedding cakes by the side of the road and set up... It's
to
like
get Twitter followers.
It's like geocaching, but with wedding cakes.
And inside, like, when you cut open the cake, my Twitter handle has been, like, baked into it.
That's very fun. So
it's like a gender reveal party, but with my Twitter handle.
Are you going to make... What I would really like, actually... You've watched the Netflix series Nailed It, haven't you?
Sure.
Yeah, so you know how they'll make like a wedding cake on that and it'll come out looking like a huge literal shit?
Yeah.
What I
A
think
very
you should,
relatable show.
yeah, I think what you should do is make one like that and post a picture of like a fancy wedding cake, and then at the actual location have a nailed it style wedding cake, so that when someone arrives, it's not quite what was advertised.
It's like the eBay product photos that you find.
Exactly.
I like the idea of just scamming people with free stuff. And like you said, like you post on the Facebook page a picture of like a shirt or something that you're giving away. Yeah. And then you say free to anyone who wants it. And someone's like, oh yeah, I'd love that. And then they show up and it's like a completely different t-shirt that you're giving them. But they can't really say anything because they're getting it for free, but they don't actually like the t-shirt that you're giving to them. It's like a good like social experiment. And I can make the social experiment YouTube channel and become rich.
Can you please call, if you do this with cakes, can you call the Twitter handle Geobaking?
That's a good name.
Right? I was very proud of my joke there.
Even like geocaking.
Geocaking's pretty good. I was tossing back and forth which one to do, but I felt like geobaking was fun because then you can branch out and leave like pies on the side of the road.
Well, that's true. You're not like putting yourself into
leave like a tart.
Yeah.
Even like
a tort.
Even like a roast. You could do like baked vegetables.
Yeah, baked potatoes, I suppose.
Yeah. What if I just start leaving out little, what is the potatoes wrapped in alfoil? And I just sort of ride down the street on a bicycle with like a basket with all these chopped potatoes in the front, just tossing them like newspapers into people's yards.
Into people's lawns. Like
pelting people's houses.
Corns that have like melted butter like falling out of them.
Right. I'm pelting people's houses with these gourmet vegetables.
Would they be angry or happy? I don't know.
I think it would be 50-50. It would depend on how nasty the person is and whether they're willing to eat grass potato.
Whether or not they would trust potatoes that were thrown at them off a bicycle. I don't know whether I would or not.
I can't think of a witty name for that business. So do you have another story for me, please?
I sure do. Okay. Uno momento, por favor. Okay, this is one that you may have read today, because this has been quite the viral on Twitter.
Okay.
About a new dating app that has launched in Australia.
Oh, yes. I've heard of this. I haven't read the article.
There's a lot of articles about it, but I'm reading from 9honey, because why not? Which has 2 tabs at the top of the page, Royals and Honey Loves.
Both of those are objectionable in their own special way, and I think that's really cool.
It's like the two tabs.
9honey, that's the girls one, right? So
that's for the chicks. You know, that's all they're interested in.
There's the one that's like 9 Die Hard, and then there's 9honey, which is the one.
There's 9 Boss.
9...
Actually, no, that's 10. There's 10 Boss and 10 Peach.
Oh, that's right. What's the other? Who gives a shit? I know that 9honey I still hate forever because they stopped airing The American Bachelor, and I'll never forgive them for that.
What a joke.
Right?
But this says, the headline goes, and I know this one is for like me and you because we're both private school kids. It says, dating app exclusively for private school singletons launches in Australia.
I mean, right
Firstly,
off the bat,
why?
I don't think you should make a dating app that's aimed at children specifically. That seems inherently fucked up.
Well, it's not aimed at children.
Oh, is it aimed at people who went to private school?
It's aimed at people who went to private school as children and now are like...
so much worse.
Still living in their glory days of...
That's incredible. I thought it was like a teens dating app. No. This is infinitely
for grown
worse.
Adults who still care about which school they went to.
I will only date people who went to Skeggs, and that's my rule. So if you could just give me a list of everyone who went to Skeggs, and I'll make my choice.
On the other hand, maybe the insufferable rich people will all use this dating app, and then the other dating apps won't have them anymore.
Ooh, that's true. Counterpoint, though, I like going out with people who buy me stuff. So,
well, maybe that's why, this dating app exists.
Touché.
To find sugar baby. Oh, sugar mamas or sugar papas.
Do you think if I went on that dating app And they were like, so what are you doing with your life? And I was like, well, I have a degree in music and a degree in journalism, neither of which I've put to any valuable use, and my income's quite low.
I make a podcast for free.
I make a podcast for free. It has very few listeners. Do you think I'm going to get, like, super laid? Because I feel like I'm going to get, like, super laid just off that resume.
But they're just like, sorry, what school did you go to? Because that's what the real sticker
That's true.
is.
They don't give a shit about anything I've done in the last decade. They only want to hear about where I did my HSC.
Yeah, they don't give a crap anything you've done prior to that. They don't even care what your HSC score was. It just depends where you did it.
After I graduated from my high school, I did a couple of little murders, and so I've spent a decade or two in prison. But I've got
but which high school did you go to?
I did go to Skeggs, so...
Okay, well, I don't really want to hear the rest. Tell me about Skeggs.
That's all you need to know.
That's all I need to know. I know you're the guy for me now.
I studied chemistry, and I had an affair with the chemistry teacher. It was beautiful.
Oh my god, that's wonderful. Tell me more. So, the world's first dating app for people who were privately educated has launched in Australia. The UK-made app Toffee Dating's main point of difference, other than its schooling prerequisite, is
it
a
called
sliding
Toffee?
Scale feature used to show how much emphasis you place on interests such as sports, partying, adventure, arts, and the countryside.
Wow, what a wonderfully, somehow incredibly douchey, but also incredibly generic list of things that you could be interested in. You've just incredibly managed to list 5 things that I would love to never talk to someone about ever.
It's like, yeah, like, I know that, like, you're trying to tell me here about your career, but, like, do you like the countryside?
If I was like, what are your interests? And someone was like, I love partying in the countryside, I would turn around and walk the fuck away.
I'd be like, who the fuck is this person?
Are you a robot made out of boredom? I don't understand it.
Are you a...
Oh my
yeah,
God.
basically. I'm
Why
gonna
is
keep
it
reading.
called toffee dating? Is it like
I don't know.
regular people are sugar, but they've been through the hot saucepan of private school and congealed into a shitty mess that breaks its teeth?
Yes, basically. So the co-creator of Toffee Dating, Lydia Davis, tells 9Honey the reason they chose Australia as the second country to launch the app is purely due to demand. In the
That's
UK,
upsetting.
8% of people are privately educated, but in Australia, that number is around 35%.
Very
Ms.
upsetting.
Davis says, adding, in India, it's 38%. That's 500 million people. We felt that Australia would be the best place for us to roll out to first, as we were inundated with requests for us to launch there, Ms. Davis says, of their global rollout. Now, how many of those requests that they were inundated with are members of the Young Liberals?
All? It's weird.
I'd like to think that probably...
It's weird, but it's actually
the Venn
all
diagram
of them.
there is a circle.
Just one circle. Yeah, it's so weird how that is, how it's all of them. You wouldn't have
it's so
expected
weird.
that, but it is all of those requests. It's all
Yeah.
young liberals, and they only want to bang other young liberals.
Yeah,
Here's
exactly.
my question. Is whether the young liberals are going to treat this as like a romance dating app or as a hookup app. Because I don't know which is worse.
Oh, I don't know. The website claims the app was created because we know people from similar backgrounds are more likely to stick together. It also offers an insight into someone's perfect menu, broken down into starter, main, dessert, and cheese.
What the
as well as
fuck?
events typically on their social calendar, so you can see if you share the same tastes or scene.
I went to a private school and I don't have that. I don't have a...
I went to a private school, but I feel incredibly... I cannot relate to this.
I don't want a 3-course meal. That's too many courses.
That's too many courses.
I want
Just give me
one-
like a giant schnitty and chips.
Give me a good
one
old
course.
schnitty. Give me some wontons. I just want something that I can eat.
Wonton soup.
I just want some fucking pho. I want something I can eat. I don't
I want one, yeah. I don't want to be sitting at the table for ages while I eat like
But,
a
and then
nibble
eventually
and then have to wait
you,
like half an hour for the next meal.
I have a piece of bread, and then I wait 4 hours, and they bring me half a cow testicle, and then I wait another 4 hours, and they bring me a rancid eyeball dipped in vinegar, and that costs $300.
I just want my schnitty and chips, and in and out in half an hour, and then go watch a movie or something.
My cheese is Kraft singles. I don't know.
Well, my cheese is big as stringers.
I think we've failed as rich people.
Similar to Hinge, it offers random questions to answer instead of writing a bio. And like Tinder or Bumble, you swipe left to pass or right to match. Then, if you match with a fellow elite-schooled individual, you start the courting in a private chat window. And yes, when you match, it says, you and blah, blah, blah have liked each other. Start the courting.
I just really love fun traditional gender paradigms. They're super cool, and I'm really into it. Do you think that what you do in this app is you don't like do your traditional Tinder bullshit where you're like, hi, I see in your second photo you like bungee jumping. Where did you go bungee jumping? That seems cool. What you do is you just send a question mark, and then the person is expected to respond with their income. Like...
And then if you send 2 question marks, someone's expected to respond with their ATAR score.
Yeah, okay.
Because that matters in adult life.
I'm into that. 3 question marks is your parents' jobs.
And then 4 question marks is your postcode.
5 question marks? You don't need any more information than the first 4. You're getting shut right down.
Yeah, 5 question marks.
5 question marks
that's
is a
no-no.
trap.
If you don't get a match on your postcode, your ATAR, your parents' jobs, and your income, then basically you've got nothing.
You know how people will talk about things like how something like reverse racism is like a euphemism for I want to say racist shit and you won't let me.
Yeah, sure.
I think elite schooled individuals might be a euphemism for cunts. I
think it might be a euphemism for white people, judging by all of the promo shots having exclusively white people in them.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, definitely.
The screenshots from the app that it shows, it's like the promo ones. It shows on the screenshots, I can see a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 women. There are 10 women visible, and 10 of 10 are white. One of them has the name India, so it's kind of like...
I feel like that's racist. Just right off the bat. That's never occurred to me, but that seems not cool. I wouldn't name my daughter Japan. I wouldn't name my daughter Mongolia.
No. There's probably something there.
That seems not awesome, guys. Can you not do that?
But it's the sentence up. It's the sentence where they say, hang on, we know people from similar backgrounds are more likely to stick together.
And that's something we really want to encourage in this fractured political time. It's a really good thing. We don't want to
cross... like that particular sentence, could not be used for any, racist means at all.
Definitely not.
No, it's not nothing racist. We just mean, private school kids and private school kids should stick together.
This is repulsive.
Yeah, it's really, the way they're marketing themselves is... I mean, if you wanted to make an app where, people with similar interests met each other, sure, you could market yourself better.
Yeah. Can I give you a story that is also about a dating thing? This is what I found a few weeks ago, but this has made me decide that I need to bring it back. So this is about a dating thing that I think is just as horrifying, but, less objectionable at the same time.
Okay, that's wonderful.
So this is an article from bustle.com written by Mia Masato. You can use Tinder's festival mode to match with people going to the same concerts.
Wow, that's so cool.
People get thirsty during festival season, and I'm not just talking about the lack of available water stations. In honor of the upcoming festival season, Tinder has a new festival mode feature that will make it easier for people to match and meet up with other festival goers. if you felt something, that was just a collective wave of FOMO blasting every Coachella attendee this year.
I do not feel any FOMO at all.
You don't feel FOMO about the prospect of lining up a series of random strangers to have sex with in a tent for like 3 straight days? That doesn't sound appealing.
Tent. It's probably going to be like
behind the toilets or something.
the portaloos.
Oh, yuck.
Well, there's a line of people outside waiting to like use it.
UTIs for everyone.
Yes, that's the lesson I'm taking from this.
No longer are your connections limited to your campsite neighbours or whose shoulders you stood on during the headliner's performance. An email press release for Tinder's festival mode states, connections is a generous term.
Yeah.
Because today, Tinder is launching festival mode with AEG Worldwide and Live Nation. The way it works is relatively seamless with your typical Tinder experience. You'll opt into festival mode in the Tinder app, then choose the festival you're attending. Then a badge highlighting the upcoming festival you're attending will show up on your profile.
Now, I wonder if this is only for music festivals or if it works at like other festivals as well.
Ooh, that's a fun idea.
Yeah. Like if you're at like, I don't know, a vintage doll convention.
If you're at a haunted doll convention, then...
and you wanted to like hook up with another haunted doll aficionado.
So like when you covered the automotive convention in Sydney, like you could have found lots of really sexy train enthusiasts to just...
Yeah, exactly. Like the Sydney Transport Heritage Expo.
Yeah.
The Sydney Transport Heritage Expo Festival should be available on festival mode on Tinder.
What I like about...
Who wants to hook up in the Thomas the Tank Engine?
That's what I like, is that it's not... This is quite explicitly not about looking for a relationship. So it's not like,
no.
I want to find Mr. Right at the automotive transport festival. It's like, no, I want to find someone to fuck in the back of Thomas the Tank Engine and never see again.
Yeah, exactly. Someone who is just equally into Thomas the Tank Engine as I am. And who wants to...
Look, I think that's probably going to be a relatively difficult fetish to find people in person for. So this is actually probably not a bad service.
Well, I hope Tinder's getting some ideas here, because if they haven't yet rolled out this app across all types of festivals, then they haven't quite covered all their bases.
I think it's really restrictive, yeah. I think that it should be like if you go to like the Cannes Film Festival, I think you should be able to like find other movie reviewers.
Everyone there are like douchey movie people.
Yeah, exactly. It's how you find your people.
Yeah, that's true. Or just like use this same model to replace normal social interaction in any setting. Like you're at your friend's party and you turn on festival mode of other people in the room of the party, and everyone's just like swiping through the like 6 people that are in the party.
The party is in the worst case scenario, I think, is everyone swipes left on everyone and then just no one speaks for the entire evening.
Everyone just sits there awkwardly.
Because they've all established that none of them want to fuck each other, and what's the point then?
Yeah. And now they're like, well, what do we do now?
Why are we even here? Is there any kind of
everyone's
phase?
too awkward to even like have the conversation though. They're just going to like sit there.
Well, that's because when you've decided you're not interested in someone, you ghost them. So it's a lot harder when the person's 10 feet away from you to ghost someone. That takes real concerted effort.
It does.
The worst context in which I've ever had to ghost someone, and I feel very bad about ghosting someone, but one time I was chatting to someone on one of these dating apps, and it was going pretty well. We were like getting along, had similar interests, and then I was like, hey, I can see you got a cool tattoo on your wrist. What does that tattoo mean? And she says, it's a G, a greater than symbol, an up arrow, and a down arrow. And it means that God is greater than all in the above and the below. And I did not respond to that message.
I think you've told me this before, but it's still funny.
Right? I can't think of what I possibly could have said, because I've never had such an immediate deal breaker in my lifetime.
And it's like, if you're that keen to get a tattoo, It's something that's very important in your life. You know, it's not something that's like a little side hustle.
Exactly. And it was like prominently featured. It was on like her wrist. Like it's hard to cover up.
Yeah, it's hard to ignore that.
And the other problem is if she's in a relationship with me, it's not going to be working for me, because if God is greater than everything that's above and below, that includes me, and I do need to be the center of the universe. So
you do need to be like, maybe if she like scrubs out the little, you know, in the G how it's got the line that goes across. If she scrubs that out, it'll be a C.
Oh, that's fun. I like that. Now we're talking.
Now you can like reopen that conversation to like just make that suggestion.
Do you have another story for me, please?
Well, I've got a lot of stories sitting around here, but I don't know whether we want to like go batshit wild at the moment.
I don't know. I feel like we've got a pretty breakneck energy this week. Let's just go nuts.
Let's just go crazy, because you know how much I love the most esteemed newspaper in the UK, The Express.
Oh yeah, I love those nasty boys.
Occasionally, like I
take
what
the express
me
train
about this,
to my heart and also my ass at the same time.
It's like, how is this a real newspaper that really exists, and not just like a conspiracy theory website that popped up like 2 years ago?
You can be two things at once.
Yeah, well, that's true. That's true. But it's a real printed newspaper, and I think that's what I love. But they've always got a lot of alien stories. They've always got a lot of breaking news in the alien sector.
It's an oxymoron, but continue.
Before I get into the story that I want to read, I just want to like run you down the most read on the Express page.
Oh, Jesus.
MH370 shot claim. Decoy plane used to create illusion US was responsible. Story
cool.
number 2. UFO bombshell. Man has been in contact with aliens and NASA knows. Shot claim. Spoiler alert, that's the story we're going to go into.
I'm really loving how the US government is responsible for both of these things. Is that a feature of all
3.
of the US story?
End of the world in just 3 weeks as believers prepare for the return of Christ.
Obama's fault, somehow.
Yeah, it probably is. Number 4. Nostradamus 2019 prediction. Donald Trump assassination. War and hard Brexit. Okay. I'm not sure Nostradamus was predicting those things.
So like a mixed bag, I would say.
Yeah, a little bit of everything.
A little bit from some black, some white. Who knows? There's a lot of... Look.
Some positives and negatives.
It's like the ending of Game of Thrones. I'm not totally happy with it, but I'll take it. Do you know?
There's some things in there that you're like... some parts in that you're like, okay, that's not too bad.
It's like, I can deal
Earthquake
with this.
Today. Major tremor forecasted as planets align. Shock claim.
Which planets? Like all of them?
Yeah, all of the planets align.
Fuck, that's cool. That means the portals to the netherworld are going to open.
What is this fucking
I'm pretty sure that's the
newspaper?
plot of one of the Thor movies.
Oh, and also that other one that we read already before. Aliens are here and they're breeding with humans.
Oh yeah, that's
I think
true,
we talked about that previously.
Yeah, that's truth. It's God's honest truth.
Anyway, let's just jump into this story. UFO bombshell. Man has been in contact with aliens and NASA knows. Shot claim. Now, I like how they add a nice like shot claim to the end of all of these headlines to make it like, we can't just say that headline is a statement of truth. We've got to add shot claim so make it more realistic.
To make it legal and not defamation against the universe.
Because at least one of those parts is true, that it is quite a shocking claim. I'll read
if
the
someone
article.
ever published a story saying, like, Barnaby Joyce, sexiest man alive, I would sue them for defamation against God.
Yeah,
because that's just, like, a
defamation
crime
against like
the
public
universe.
decency.
Exactly. Copyright from hell.
Paranormal theorist Michael Horn claims to have conducted hundreds of interviews with employees from the likes of NASA as part of his research and says that he has conclusive proof that the Swissman was being truthful. The Swissman was mentioned earlier about like It was just some Swiss dude who saw an UFO.
Okay, so was this like a previous story or earlier in the article?
That was earlier in the article, but I skipped it because it was quite lengthy.
Okay, I was going to say, because that's wild that this article has, like, required research to be able to understand
Well, I wouldn't be surprised. There's probably, like, a canon law of the express.co.uk that...
Do you think there's express.co.uk.wikia that you have to, like, look up?
Like a fandom wikia.
To find all of the backstory.
Basically, this guy from Switzerland, it's stock standard. He saw a UFO, and then he has subsequently been communicating with aliens ever since then, since 1975.
Awesome.
And now this new research by paranormal theorist Michael Horn has been proved that his claims were indeed true, that he was a truthful man.
Okay, cool.
As part of the research, Mr. Horn spoke to NASA USGS scientist Ken Henkenoth with the latter telling him, "I should say that I have long hoped that we will have been contacted by advanced civilizations and that we could learn from them, and that the statistics of potentially habitable planets in our galaxy suggests there are probably many advanced civilizations." Okay. So what the actual scientists told him is that he hoped that we will contact aliens and that probably aliens probably may exist somewhere.
Yeah, so what he just found out is that the dude who works for NASA is a bit of a geek. No shit. Yeah. Like, that's not...
He's a bit of a nerd and probably...
On one of my first dates with Jess, she broke my heart by doing this, like, thought experiment and proving to me that aliens probably don't exist. And I was quite sad afterwards.
What was the thought experiment? What is this disgusting
basically,
revelation?
it was an explanation just about, like, because of how long the universe has existed, that if there was some potential for aliens to have the capacity to communicate with people, they would have done it. Like, it would have happened at some point in history just due to, like, law of probabilities. And the fact that it hasn't is potentially evidence that they don't exist.
But this is the other, like, consideration in this entire thing, right? Is, do these aliens have a capacity to communicate in a way in which we would understand or be even able to perceive? We don't know. It's all unknown.
Interesting point.
You know,
okay.
Or do we as human beings not have the technology to even pick up any signals that people are sending out?
Here's the problem, is that they can only speak, like, Italian. So
they can only speak, like, Latin.
They can only speak Latin. So a lot of emails, actually, when they get Latin messages, automatically send them to junk. So all of the aliens' emails are actually in the spam folder.
It's all like all the people that are, like, emailing you claiming to be, like, Nigerian princes are all, like, aliens trying to reach out.
Their planet is called Nigeria, and they do have a lot of princes. They have a weirdly, like, oligarchy.
Yeah. And it's just kind of like it's kind of like a coincidence that there's also a country on planet Earth called Nigeria. Like, they didn't know that when they named their planet. Because probably their planet was named first.
When they say they're a prince from Nigeria, their race is called the princes. So, like, we're humans, they're princes. And they they all look like the artist formerly known as Prince. And
like,
it's a pretty
when they say they're going to give you, like,
$1
million billion, what they call a dollar is like a grain of sand, right? So they've got like a jar of moon sand or wherever they're from.
And when they say that they have some really exciting investment opportunities, in their language, investment opportunities means laser blasts. So that's... It's actually not great, and you should delete that message.
You probably should delete. You probably shouldn't reply to them, yeah. Either way, whether it's a real scammer or it's like an alien sending you signals. But anyway...
Neither is great.
Neither is ideal. So this researcher who's got the, concrete proof...
Forward them all to NASA.
Forward them all to NASA scientist Ken Henkenoth, who is a nerd. Because nerds deserve to be spammed, That'll learn him for being a nerd.
Oh, my God.
The new research about the Swiss man's incident claims to have had information provided to him by aliens about every planet in the solar system, as well as black holes, the speed of gravity, the impending threat posed by asteroid Apophis.
Wait, the speed of That's not okay.
The speed of gravity, Chris.
Not a thing.
Just let it
but
happen.
Continue.
Let it happen.
Okay.
Let it happen.
All right.
And terrestrial environment, seismic and volcanic events.
Terrestrial environment is a fun euphemism for the planet that we live on, for Earth.
There's a really nice a picture here.
That's a
of
cool
a
way of
UFO.
saying out. That's a cool way of saying outside. Terrestrial environment.
It's like, yeah, what is outside your room right now?
Where are you going? Oh, I'm just going to head out into the terrestrial environment for a little bit. I need some milk.
Yeah, I'm just gonna head on out to the terrestrial environment. Sorry, I'm just looking at this the series of pictures that have been attached to this article include an alien photo, a UFO photo which was taken by the Swiss man in question, Billy Meyer.
It's a good name.
I'm not gonna lie. The UFO does look a lot like a nipple pasty.
Yes.
Stuck in a tree, and that's the
How
UFO
did
photo.
the nipple pasty get in the tree, though, Alison? That's the story here. What?
That's the real question. We're gonna
What
be asking
nasty
ourselves.
shit happened in that tree that a nipple pasty got stuck up there? Oh, someone was doing a very ambitious striptease up in that tree.
Look, whatever the story behind it is, I don't think I'm allowed to say it in this house.
God's strip pole is an elm.
Oh, we're both going to hell.
Yeah, probably. That's okay.
Oh dear. Yeah, it's pretty fine. I'm okay with that.
I feel like if there is an alien spaceship, the worst possible thing it could be is if it's shaped like a dick. Like, that would be so immediately like we'd see it and just laugh.
Sorry, there's a
And on the side, it just has 69 written over and over and over and over again. They're like, this is the code that signifies the end of the world. And you're like, and actually, it's the sex number. I'm sorry, that's
and just
the
to
sex
appeal to like a really wide demographic of ages as well. It makes like fart movement noises as it like moves across the galaxy.
Oh, God. I feel like we're pretty dumb.
I don't think we can do much more than that.
Is there any more content to this story that I have really aggressively derailed?
I don't really think so.
Oh, that's fair enough. I feel like this is enough podcast for one evening.
I think so. I think.
Oh my God.
Yeah, look.
I'm happy with that ending. All right, everybody. Again, no puns this week. Still haven't really thought of a fun alternative. My dad suggested something that I forgot. Yeah, I'm a great
that's
son.
not good.
No. But
Can I teach you? Can I teach you a fun word I learnt in Bahasa Indonesia? This word.
That's a fun idea. I'm into that.
Yeah. It's the word for jellyfish, which is
Oh.
like uber uber.
Uber, uber.
Yeah.
I'm sure I'm
And
butchering
it sounds a lot
the
like
pronunciation.
the noise that I would expect a jellyfish to make if it did make noises.
That's very fair. It's also the noise you make when you're drunk and you want to get home.
It is. You just mutter that like uber
Uber,
uber
Uber, Uber, Uber,
uber
Uber.
uber.
You just
Yeah,
walk
exactly.
into the middle of the road and just shout, Uber, Uber!
But don't do that here, or people start throwing jellyfish at you.
That would be it. Look, it would sober you up very quickly. I'll say
It
that
would.
much.
If I had like a jellyfish like slapping all over my face, I would probably wake up.
Oh, that's a fun mental image. Let's leave you all on that great note. Have a wonderful night. It's probably not nighttime for you. Have a wonderful time in the future.
Have a wonderful whatever time of day it is.
Yeah. Have a wonderful life.
Yeah, that's nice. A wonderful life.
Good luck and good night, nerds.
Ciao.